Our courts are contaminated with young, inexperienced caseworkers and polluted with bribes, high-priced bonuses for speedy adoption of terminated parents, and judges who don't practice law with the Constitution in their sights. This is a problem.
They take away the fathers, leaving just a mom and cubs. They know that with that out the way, the better things will go. Breaking apart the family, destroying the American way. Our legacy is built upon our families of yesterday. Fuck CPS, fuck what they doing. Fuck CPS, they need to be ruined. It's all about the division of family services. You hear that the division is what they about. They prey upon the family, the ones that the dad's been kicked out. We can't stand for this abomination. This is the song that needs to play across our once great nation, making us aware of the problem. Stealing our kids, it's not mama drama. Stand up for those who are lost to them. We need to fight for the family, making America great again. CPS comes along with the mission to protect. The only thing they are doing is cashing in those checks, paid for by the souls of the children, diagnosed by a caseworker who is still a baby herself. They take away the fathers, leaving just a mom and cubs. They know that with dad out the way, the better things will go. Breaking apart the family, destroying the American way. Our legacy is built upon our families of yesterday. Fuck CPS, fuck what they doing. Fuck CPS, they need to be ruined. It's all about the division of family services. You hear that the division, that's what they about. They prey upon the family, the ones that the dad's been kicked out. We can't stand for this abomination. This is the song that needs to play across our once great nation, making us aware of the problem. Stealing our kids, it's not mama drama. Stand up for those who are lost to them. We need to fight for the family, making America great again.
In the heart of our great nation, where the strength of our communities is built upon the foundation of strong and loving families, an urgent crisis is unfolding. Child Protective Services, CPS, an institution designed to safeguard our most vulnerable, has in many cases betrayed its noble mission. Too often, families are torn apart not by neglect or abuse, but by systemic failures and corruption. We can no longer stand idly by as these injustices continue. We are here to give a voice to those who have been isolated, to shine a light on the corruption, and to rally our fellow citizens in this critical fight for justice. Every day, countless families are caught in a web of bureaucracy and abuse of power, their lives disrupted and their bonds shattered. Children, who should be nurtured and protected, are instead placed in situations that can be just as, if not more, harmful than the circumstances from which they were taken. Parents, often bewildered and powerless, face insurmountable odds as they fight to reunite with their children. This is not the America we believe in. We cannot allow these injustices to persist. Our mission is to educate, to inform, and to inspire action. We promise to bring you daily updates on CPS, exposing the truth and fighting for reform. We must remember that the future of our nation depends on the strength and unity of our families. By standing together, we can hold CPS accountable and ensure that it fulfills its true purpose, protecting children and preserving families. This is a fight we must not and will not lose. We are committed to saving our families and securing a brighter future for all. The road ahead is challenging, but with your support, we can make a difference. Together, we will bring hope to those who have lost it and ensure that justice prevails. Let us unite with unwavering resolve and a sense of patriotic duty to safeguard the integrity of our families and the future of our nation.
In a small Maine town, under the sky so clear, a man named Vinny fights, driven by the fear. The CPS is corrupt, breaking hearts in cold. He stands with the people, brave and bold. With the Constitution held high in his hand, he walks the streets a one-man band. No more kids for cash, no more silent cries. In Vinny's eyes, the truth never dies. We're fighting for justice, standing tall. Vinny's voice echoes, answering the call. Through our podcast, we light up the night, freeing our kids, bringing truth to light. Family.
How are we doing, everybody? It is Saturday night, and it's time for Freedom Fighter with Vinny. That's right, guys. So I'm coming on tonight to go over a few things with you all. It's going to be a real quick show. I got other things going on in this house. It's all crazy. Just been yelling and screaming, and tonight is not a good night in this house, it seems. And I don't want it to interfere with my mood and what I'm trying to get done and what I'm working on and what I've been working on for the past couple hours now, since 2 o'clock. But I wanted to go over with you guys some cases and some case law on what parental rights you actually have, because we don't really do that a lot, and we don't explain what is actually going on with your parental rights. As you know, there's a chat box right over there. So we're going to get started. I'm going to read off some case laws to you guys, since we don't really touch on case law that often. We have Naylor, who usually touches on some of the case law, but not all of it. So I'm going to start with removal of children or human offspring from families without safety hazards, strict scrutiny, the fitness of the parents test, and interference in care, custody, education, on upbringing are unconstitutional. Okay, and this is supported by many case laws. Um, one of which I'm going to read to you from Troxel versus Granville, which states the Supremacy Clause, the federal Constitution, and the Bill of Rights take precedence over all state constitutions, state laws, federal laws, and ally. Mayberry versus Madison. An unconstitutional law is void. In a valid and not to be enforced, an unconstitutional law is invalid from its exception, not when so banded in an open court of law. An unconstitutional law are void from their inception if one part of the law, being unconstitutional, entered the law with unconstitutionality and must be repealed. This goes on in many cases, as we are all aware of our rights to the Constitution, which are violated thereby statutory law and code. Um, in these lower courts, you're seeing a lot of that because they are, in fact, taught to violate your constitutional right. They're not taught to enforce the law. They're not taught to enforce Constitution. They're even though Darren argues with me, they're admiralty courts, they're administration. Administration does not have jurisdiction over us as we the people. As we the people, the Constitution reads that a federal court is the jurisdiction and has the jurisdiction. These lower courts really do not have jurisdiction when it comes to constitutional matters. So we need to remember that these lower courts do not hold constitutional rights. They're not abided by it. They don't care about your constitutional rights, which is why we've been facing all these problems within the court systems because they're district courts. They're not a higher court like the appeals court, the superior court, Supreme Court, or federal law. They don't adhere to the same laws as they do. Another case law that I'm going to put out to you guys is Satucci versus Kramer. Even in a contested court proceeding or where a parent has lost parental rights at the order of the state, still retains the fundamental right to direct and the care and custody and upbringing of one's human offspring, which means that even though a state says, "Oh, we're going to pull your rights away from you," they can't. It's unconstitutional. They do not have the authority to pull our rights away. And that's a good one to use, guys, because Satucci versus Kramer states that they don't have a right to pull our parental rights. Another one I found was Reno versus Flores. The best interest of the children or child is not the standard by which parents are held to direct the care, custody, or their human offspring. Sometimes the best interest of the child can be subordinate to other children or even to the parents themselves. There you have it. When you have a subordinate kid that's not following and they're going against the parents, and a lot of us have dealt with this in many cases where a child has gone to school and gone against the parents and didn't listen to the parents, we still are responsible. The kids answer to the parents. Oh, we can sue them for that. Yes, definitely, most definitely. Um, then there's Washington versus Glucksberg. Parents have a fundamental right to direct the care, custody, and upbringing of their human offspring. Okay, well, if we have that, then why are these administrative courts saying we don't? because they don't want you to know what your constitutional rights are. Your constitutional right is, if there is constitutional questions in a district court, you are supposed to say, whoa, stop right here. This is unconstitutional, and I am challenging your jurisdiction based on constitutional right violations. And they have to, by law, kick it up to the higher court. By law. This is true, guys. Do your math, do your homework, start looking into these things. This is very important that you guys learn what our Constitution means and what the Bill of Rights mean. Okay. This is important to everybody that is dealing with CPS because they have, in fact, been trained on violating your constitutional rights. I've seen plenty of videos where caseworkers have come out and said that they do, in fact, violate your constitutional rights because that is what they are taught to do, is to violate your constitutional right. The next one is Buds versus Ikomu, United States versus Lee. There is no immunity to a violation of constitutional by a public officer sworn to perform their duties. Meaning, okay, if a state official or a cop in this matter violates your constitutional right, they lost their immunity, which means they can be prosecuted to the full length of the law and held responsible for treason under the Constitution. First Amendment right, okay? Parents have a fundamental right to familiar associate. We have the First Amendment right to associate or not associate, either intimate or expressive, with our human offspring, and expressively without or with or without the Child Protection Agency or Child Protective Services or DCFS or any other enormous of programs. Now, I'm not a constitutional attorney by no means, guys. I am just trying to advocate for all of us out here and give knowledge on what I have found. These are big things, and not all lawyers understand that, and it's our duty as the person who the case is on to give this information and to our attorneys. We are supposed to be providing our case and information to our attorneys and helping them fight our case for us. You're not supposed to just hand everything over and go, here, take care of it. It doesn't work that way, guys. And that's where a lot of you are running into problems because you are not assisting your attorney with the help that he needs for the case. You should be fighting alongside your attorney. You should be giving advice to your attorney. Parent to client, parent to attorney, or client to attorney. There's a reason why we have the attorney-client privilege, because we are supposed to be helping our attorney for the better of our case. And a lot of parents are not doing that. They are not assisting their attorney. That's where you, as a parent, have failed, because you're not providing this information to your attorney to fight your case. You should be helping your attorney in every way you can, whether you're making up motions and setting them to him or her, for that matter. If you're sending the motions to them, okay, that's documented through your email that you sent them those papers, right? That's proof that you were giving them that information. Every time you send something to your attorney, you should be backing that up and screenshotting that. That way you have proof that you've been doing it, okay? This will come down the road when it comes to your TPR, and if they TPR you when you get to the appeals court, because the more information you have, the better you stand in suing CPS, the Attorney General's office, filing grievances. This all comes into play. Okay? You need this information. You have to get them the information they need. You know, it is always critical to be assisting your attorney in your case. Always. I have assisted my attorney, and I tell you what, I have seen really amazing results from it. He has represented me zealously. He has not left anything out. He has gone and had things taken out. He has done this. He has done that. He has been fighting from the day he took over my case with me and started talking with me. I have met with him in person quite a few times, sat down in his office, and went over documentation with him face to face. You guys need to be doing this with your attorneys. You need to iterate with your attorney. We need to have a face to face. We need to have a sit down. We need to go over the information together and work on your case together. That's where a lot of you are striving and having issues is you're not working with your attorney and saying, look, you work for me. Yes, you may work for the court, but you work for me. And they do. They work for us. They are public servants. They work for us. We pay them with our tax dollars. Okay? No matter if the court is paying them or not, where do you think they're getting that money? They're getting it from our tax dollars. They work for us. All of them. The judges work for us. The attorneys work for us. The AAGs work for us. The DA's office works for us. We have allowed them to take that power, and they do not deserve that power because they have abused their power. They do not hold power over us. We hold power over them and CPS. And that's where you guys need to start exerting your power. Use your constitution, use, your case law, back it with factual evidence. Don't just sit there and, you can when you're doing motions, you cannot have any kind of emotion in your motion. It has to be strict, straight to the point, facts, not emotion. You can't use your emotion. You cannot. No emotion whatsoever when you are doing your motions. None. I'm trying to help educate you guys and get you guys to understand when you put emotion into a motion that you are filing, you might as well forget it. They're not even going to read it. You might as well throw that shit out the window and say, well, game over. I let them win because you're putting emotion into what you are doing. You cannot have emotion when you were filing court documents. It has to be based on facts, based on proof, based on your evidence. Okay. This is what they are looking for, guys. So we're going to move on from that, and I'm going to read some more. The Fourth Amendment. We have the Fourth Amendment right to be secure in our person, papers, and effects without any unreasonable search and seizure conducted without probable cause, sworn upon oath and affirm of affidavit. Okay. It has to be in our hand, as Herbert always says. That court order or that warrant needs to be in our hand physically with proof of probable cause. If that warrant and that court order is not in our hand, you have no probable cause. You just broke the Fourth Amendment right. See the difference here, guys? You're allowing CPS to break your amendment rights, and you're not even paying attention as a parent, saying, "Okay, well, I must know my Constitution." We were taught this in school, guys. Most of us are either, older boomers, older Gen X, older millennial. We've been taught this in our schools. We were taught back in the 90s constitutional rights in school, were we not? You should have kept that knowledge up here and used that when you knew CPS was going to be knocking at your door. Okay, do you have a warrant? No. Do you have a court order? No. This is private property. Please leave. That simple. They don't leave. You can look right at that officer and say, I want a trespass order put on them for trespassing on private property. And the cop has to do it. They have to, by law. They are the law. They are put into that position, and they're supposed to be representing the people, not CPS. CPS only calls them to use them as a scare tactic towards you, when he is a peace officer that is not even supposed to be involved in civil cases. They tell you all the time when they come to your house for civil matters, we can't get involved, right? You need to find other actions to take care of that. It's because they cannot be involved in civil matters. It states it in the Constitution. They cannot be involved in civil matter. There's a reason behind that. Okay, so we're going to move on. The Fifth Amendment. Okay, we have the Fifth Amendment right to due process of law and shall not be deprived of life, which also includes making an honest living, liberty, which also includes not being subject to jail without criminal charges and a trial. We have the Fifth Amendment right to be informed of any case being brought against us and to have proper service of process served upon us. False claims and investigation conducted would be a violation of the Fifth Amendment, as well without a proper issued warrant from a judge or complainant jurisdiction due to the 14th Amendment right to privacy and familiar matters. They cannot be a proper issued warrant from a judge or competent jurisdiction laid by an agency worker from the executive branch, which would be a violation of separation of power doctrine. It would also be a violation of due process not to conduct a pre-removal of a children before a hearing in a CPS matter. Did you just hear me? They cannot remove your kid from your home at all until a hearing happens. Do you understand this, people? By you allowing them to take your child without a hearing is a direct violation of constitutional rights and due process. What's up, Gunner? How you doing, sir? So you guys, you're not studying your Constitution, and that's the problem. Okay, now we're going to dive into even more. The Sixth Amendment. We have the Sixth Amendment right to know the nature, cause, and intent of charges being held against us or allegations from social service agencies. We have a right by the Sixth Amendment to know what they are putting against us. And most of the time, they're not informing you of the nature of what the allegations are. And this is a problem. This is a big violation of the Sixth Amendment right. Eighth Amendment. Okay. We're going to move on to that. And I'm just trying to get through some of this with you guys so you guys will understand. Eighth Amendment. We have the Eighth Amendment immunity to cruel and unusual punishment, such as deprivation of familiar association. This also includes a rights violation for the parent and one for the child, because that too violation of the Eighth Amendment, because children have a right to resist coercive interference in the family by state under the 14th Amendment right to family privacy. Did you guys just hear that? Children have the right to resist because it's an interference in their privacy with their families. That's big, guys. That is really, really big. Okay. Now here comes my favorite, my most favorite amendment. Okay. The Ninth Amendment. Okay. I want you to listen to me very closely when I read you the Ninth Amendment to the Constitution. Pay very close attention. All right, here we go. Parents have the Ninth Amendment right to resist coercive interference in family matters by any state governmental identity and any federal government identity. Did you hear what I just said? Parents have the right to resist coercive interference by state government identities and federal government identities. Did you hear that? Do you understand what they are doing? No, they can't. And Herbert, I'm going to stop you right there. They do not have the right. Our Constitution says they fucking do not. I don't care if you're a cop. I don't care if you're a worker. They do not unless you have a fucking hearing first. Do not debate this with me, Herbert, because I'll put you in your place tonight. I'm not in the mood for this. I will put you in your place tonight. I'm going to tell you how it is, and you're going to hear me out. Constitution is constitutional law. You cannot break Constitution. I don't give a fuck if you're a cop or not. Do you understand that? Tenth Amendment. State social workers are prohibited from violating the Constitution and the Bill of Rights. They are prohibited from violating your Constitution. Do you get that through your brain yet, Herbert? They cannot violate your constitutional right. Eleventh Amendment. The CPS workers working for the state government, are in violation of the 11th Amendment because they are acting upon a federal citizen as a secured by the Constitution, and thus families have the 11th Amendment. Immunity to CPS without strict scrutiny means that the state must have an interest that compels and consequences of the average citizen person or human being as living as a reference in the Constitution, such as physical abuse. Physical abuse. Boom. Right there. Then we're going to get to the last part, the private sphere of a family. Therefore, as proven by truth, fact, law, and evidence, and conclusive continued removal of children or human offspring from families without safety hazards, strict scrutiny, the fitnesses of the parents test, and interference in care, custody, education, and upbringing are unconstitutional. Unconstitutional. Period. I don't care if you're a cop. You don't have the right to remove my children without a warrant or without a hearing before. I don't give a fuck who you are. You don't have authority over my house. You trespassed on private property. You can take your little cop ass and get the fuck off my property. because you trespassed on private property. How can you prove immediate danger of a child with no evidence? It's an allegation, Herbert. There's a reason why it's called an allegation. Unless you are fully charged by the law, it's a fucking allegation. It means absolutely fucking nothing. That's why I'm angry. Because cops think that they have the authority to overrule we the people. You have no fucking authority. None. Zip. Nada. End of story. End it right there. You cannot tell me what my constitutional rights tell me. You do not abide by fucking Constitution. None of these cops nowadays go by constitutional rights. And you fucking know it. And yes, I am angry. I have every fucking right to be. I have been fighting for 2 years for my children because a little bitch couldn't have her way. Yes, I said a little bitch. Because she couldn't have her cake and eat it too. But when you challenge my Constitution, you better know what the fuck you're talking about. I've done my homework. I've looked into my constitutional rights. And I am going to be damned if I'm going to tell an officer's going to tell me what my constitutional right is. Because I fucking know my Constitution. Do you? Physical abuse is not imminent danger. Where's the proof of it? Show me the proof. You have my kid? You have pictures of my kid being physically abused in my home? The fuck you don't. Do you see scars on them? Do you see bruises that I beat the shit out of them? The fuck you don't. Unless it was reported by a child. Then, with proof, it is physical abuse. Then you may enter the home. You can't just go off of fucking hearsay. So fuck you and your shit. Exactly, Jonathan. Exactly. You understand. You get it. The Constitution and the Bill of Rights run hand in hand. We, the people, did that deliberately. Deliberately. So they run hand to hand. You want to make a bet? They've done it. I got signs posted out front of my fucking house where I live. And I tell you what, they trespassed on private property without even giving a fuck. But they're going to give a fuck because I got them served under color of law. And guess what? When they trespassed, they violated their own fucking immunity. So that left them open for a lawsuit. Have a nice fucking day. Now I'm coming for the police officers that violated. I'm coming for the DA. I'm coming for the ADA. I'm coming for CPS. I'm coming for the judges. Want to play? We can play. I'll play all day. I know my constitutional rights. And these courts don't even represent Constitution because they're fucking actors. No longer will I be their fucking sheep. No longer. I'm in control. These are my children. Mine. You weren't there. You didn't see my child when she died at birth for 3 minutes. Died. You weren't freaking out. You weren't in the fucking hospital. You didn't rush an hour away while your daughter was being life flighted to another hospital to be in intensive care. Who are you to tell me how to raise my fucking children? You are nobody. But at that note, guys, I need to get off here because I am getting more irritated by the moment. I've had a rough day. I've had a stressful day. I've been trying to get my case done and helping others that needed my assistance, that had no one, and advocating. And to have someone try to come at me and argue with me about my constitutional rights that I know, and even my attorney said I know, is absolutely egregious. So, with that, I hope you guys all have a great night. I am out of here. We will see you back on Sunday. Have a great night, all.
Vinny on the mic, life in the vice, CPS tight, fighting through the nights, through the pain and the plight. Lost in the system, kids taken away, but he ain't giving up, fighting day by day. Courtroom's cold, but his heart fire bold. Every document, evidence, stories untold. Digging deep, unearthing all the mess. Knows he's getting closer, there's no time to rest. CPS won't break this man, fighting each day, got a bigger plan. Reclaiming his kids, dreams in his hand, battling for others strong like a brick wall stand. Every setback a setup for a comeback. Vinny stacking facts, ready for the attack. Discovering truths buried deep in the lies. Eyes on the prize, freedom in his eyes. Community's voice rising up, getting loud. Vinny leading the charge, making his folks proud. Taking down giants, carrying the fight. The light at the end now blindingly bright. For his kids, for his life, for the broken and lost. Vinny's resilient, no matter the cost. Breaking free from chains, reclaiming his dream. CPS trembling when Vinny hit the scene.
The stories of our families once told by the ones on front of the fire growing old, sharing light on the greatness they created. Everyone listening to every word, no hesitation. The pride you learned of the name you had, it taught you that you were something, never feel bad. You knew the trials and tribulations it took to make you. Your aunt, your uncle, you always knew who was who. Who was who. CPS, when they take the kids away, erase the heritage of the children they have gotten pay. These children don't know where they begin. They sure know the outcome, the end. CPS, you're destroying the family. You think you're making things better. These kids don't know who they are. They will never. In a blink of an eye, you eliminate what's theirs to cherish. There is no imminent danger great enough to annihilate the name of a family and those that it consummate. How dare you take away such an honor for you to get a bonus and arise so much drama. Our kids, their lives erased away. Never will they know who paved the way. They are left empty to never hear the story, who their grandparent were, the sad times and the glory. CPS, walk away. CPS, not today. Please, we beg you, leave the kids alone. God bless you. How do you think you are, helping things out? You're causing more pain and agony without a doubt. Why do you want to be the eraser of a family past given by the Creator? CPS, why do you play the role of God while so many families are truly breaking the law, inflicting harm throughout the night? The children are scared to turn out their lights. So go away, don't ever come back. Go away, I want my parents, that's that. I don't belong in a stranger's bed, thinking all night, memories in my head of the only love I once had. It was from my mom and dad. Now I lay alone, listening to strangers fight, never hearing the words I love you, good night. So good job, CPS, you really helped me. Now I'm scared, I'm alone, I don't know who I am. I've been cast away, if I'm lost, no one knows. There is no family to find me. CPS took that away, it's all behind me. When I go to bed every night, I close my eye tight. And through the tears I see my mom and dad, wishing they were here. I am so sad. You ruined my life, who gave you that right? My family loved me, they all said goodnight. Now I'm truly alone, nothing to be happy about, no place to call home. All I know is the time of day. CPS.